My freeloading sister called my daughter a demon spawn, so I'm no longer paying for her wedding or rent, and now the lunatic showed up at my doorstep. Original post, September 28th, 2024. Hi, guys, I created a profile just for this. I have a main account for my art. I'm new to posting here, so sorry for any mistakes. I'm Diana, 32, the eldest of 5 siblings, and I've been the family caretaker forever. I supported our parents until they passed, and frankly, it's exhausting. Dad died of brain cancer 3 years ago. It was heartbreaking to watch him deteriorate, and Mom passed peacefully after a long, tough battle with breast cancer earlier this year. Damn cancer. As the eldest, I became the de facto mom. I don't mind. I love my siblings and enjoy being the big sister for friends and family. I'm like a counselor and financially support my family. I don't mind since I work in tech, have a side gig doing art, and inherited land and money from Mom and Dad, so it's not a real loss. A few years ago, I adopted my cousin Charlie's 45 male daughter, whom I'll call Decker. My girl loves kickboxing. Her dad went to prison for murdering her mom in a drug and alcohol-fueled rage. A long story I won't get into. It was a chaotic year of grief, paperwork, and court hearings, but the adoption was finalized when Decker was 5. Now she's a happy, healthy 13-year-old who calls me Mom. She's been in therapy since I could legally send her, as she witnessed her mother's death, and I'm so proud of her resilience. She's my girl, my rock star, my whole heart. Literally, I call her my heart. Now about my sister Clara's 30 female wedding. I was thrilled for her and cried with joy when she asked me to be her maid of honor. I offered, with my wife Honey's 40 female approval, we love the Incredibles, hence her nickname, to pay for it. But at a bachelorette dinner I hosted, Clara made a cruel comment about my daughter, calling her a mistake and saying I shouldn't have taken her in. I stared and asked what she meant, and she said, "Since I'm married to a woman, I wasn't supposed to have kids." She laughed it off, saying no hate, but doubled down, claiming Decker's probably damaged and a mess. Guys, Decker is the sweetest kid. Sure, she's a teenager, so she can be challenging or rebellious at times, but when I say she's my heart, I mean it. She's made us a family, our house a home. She smiles easily, cries openly, and has emotional intelligence I wish I had. She always asks how you're doing, genuinely ready to listen. But a damaged mistake? I felt like I was in a dark, twisted sci-fi episode, fighting the Borg to defend my choice to adopt. I didn't laugh with Clara and her friends. I stared in disbelief. She must have noticed I was hurt because she quickly changed the topic. I said I'd better go home, paid for everything plus 3 more rounds, and left for my family. The next day, Clara came over, yelling at me for leaving and ruining her vibe after I paid for those rounds. She said I owed her a second chance for wrecking her weekend because I can't take a joke. Honey, whom I told everything, asked Clara to repeat what she said about our daughter. Clara refused, kept calling Decker Charlie's kid, and I was holding back tears. I told her I wouldn't contribute a cent to her wedding. I'd pay her rent until she moves in with her husband, but I won't attend or fund a wedding for someone who sees my daughter as a mistake. I was ready to go full Jedi and cut ties, but Honey calmed me down. Clara lost it. Threw a seltzer can we gave her, screamed. How am I supposed to pay for this? I said, You have over a year, save up. She stormed out, pushing Honey aside, and blew up our sibling group chat. My other siblings are split. Some think I'm overreacting by cutting wedding funds. Others agree Clara crossed a line and needed a wake-up call. I feel bad for her. I love her, and she's distressed. But defending my daughter feels more important. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for her wedding? Edit. I've been working on my project at a local brewery, quietly sobbing reading comments. Wow, so many. I tried responding to all but ran out of steam. I sent this post to my wife, and we're preparing to talk to Decker tonight to ask if her aunt has said or done anything cruel to or about her. I'm praying she's confused by our questions and unaware of this mess. I love my heart and want her to stay the bright, funny, loving, uplifting person she is, not knowing what her aunt said. I texted Clara to ask if she meant it, if she really sees me, my wife, and our daughter that way, or if she was drunk and stupid and backtracked out of shame. That said, I don't want her near Decker ever. I feel so lost. I never planned to be a mom, and there's no damn manual for this. What do I do? Wish me luck tonight. I'll need it, because if Decker says her aunt was cruel to her face, I'll have to hold Honey back from going after Clara. Update: September 29th, 2024. The next day. I'll keep this short. Honey and I took Decker to local Oktoberfest celebrations. She had a blast, did crafts, danced to music, drank beer, not beer, from a pint glass, and had a great time. On the drive home, Honey brought up the dreaded topic. We asked how she felt about Grandma's passing, then discussed how everyone handles things differently. We asked if Mommy, or Mama, Honey, had ever been hurtful, and she mentioned a couple times we were harsh or didn't let her do things, like a 2 a.m. party, but nothing else. We asked about Clara, and she went quiet. Honey looked at me, but I was driving, so I said, You can tell us anything. Silly, you know that. And she clammed up. I got my girls home, hugged my heart Decker, and went to my studio. 2 hours later, Honey came downstairs and said Decker was in bed, not asleep, and I should talk to her. I asked why, and she said Decker was ready to open up. I went upstairs. Decker was in pajamas reading. I sat on her bed and asked how she was. She said, Mom told you, huh? I said I didn't know anything, and she admitted Clara makes her uncomfortable and says hurtful things. When Honey and I weren't around, Clara called her a stray puppy or lost cause, and once told her to her face, You're not real family, and once Honey and Diana have a real kid, they'll ditch you. I can't describe the rage, the absolute, total red I saw as my daughter broke down, saying she tries so hard to be good and obsesses over grades to prove she's worth loving, worth keeping. After calling Honey, we sat her down and told her she's the best thing that ever happened to us, and even if we have more kids, she's our firstborn, our love. I cried, hugged her, and said she's my whole heart, and nothing will change that. She saved us, and I'm so proud of her, of us, of what we've become. I'll never stop loving her, nor will her mama. We love her more than air, and that'll never change. I explained her aunt was wrong, jealous of her, jealous of how much we love her. Her aunt needs help, but we can't give it, so she won't be around for a while. Decker asked us to stop talking to her like a kid, So I was blunt. She's my sister and I love her. You're my daughter and I love you more. I'm sorry you didn't feel you could come to me or Mama. We'll always choose you. She asked if it was her fault I hated Clara, and I said hate is a choice, and I don't hate Clara. I love her, but sometimes loving someone means correcting them. Actions have consequences. She calmed down, handed me her phone, and showed me Clara's texts. Awful things since she left my house. I can't type them without wanting to throw things, but reading my damn sister text my teenage daughter, "Go tattle to your so-called mom and prove me right," broke me. I screenshotted it, sent it to myself, and put Decker to bed around midnight. Honey and I went to bed. I sent Clara the screenshot and said, "You come to my house as my sister and treat my daughter like this? No. Mom and Dad would be ashamed. You don't treat any kid, let alone your niece, like this. I've loved you forever, but you weren't raised to treat kids this horribly. You're not welcome in my home. You won't speak to me, my wife, or my daughter. I'll pay October's rent, Clara, but from November on, you're on your own. I'm sorry, this breaks my heart, but you crossed an unforgivable line. Decker is my daughter. I'm her mother. Don't doubt me here. If you approach my family or contact my daughter again, I'll take legal action. We're low contact from today. If you make this bigger, it's no contact. If you don't get it, here are resources to help. I love you, Diana." Update 2, October 2nd, 2024. 3 days after the first update. I kept my promise to Honey to wait before reacting. She knows me best and knew I was ready to explode. Turns out, I didn't need to bother. To clarify misconceptions, I'm the eldest sibling. Mom and Dad were sick for years intermittently, so for those thinking I just took control on some weird power trip, no. I managed their finances, maintained their properties, and handled their affairs before they passed. Dad wasn't mentally capable after a while, and Mom never had a head for that stuff. I was often in charge of my siblings. Our parents ran businesses and worked 7 days a week. I cooked dinner, helped with homework, and more. I know it's not normal, and some will call my parents awful, but they did their best. I don't hate them for it, and despite the negative effects on me, it made my siblings feel safe. I'm proud I protected them and stood by them when they were little, so they didn't feel like I did. Yes, I'm in therapy too. I was my parents' sole caregiver when they died. Dad got verbally abusive toward the end, and Mom became severely depressed and harsh. It was tough even on good days. My siblings didn't want to be around them. Dad felt hurt and changed his will. Mom did too. To those saying I'm rewarding Clara by paying this month's rent, or that I'm not a real mom, or a bad one for loving my daughter's tormentor, I envy your black and white world. The rent, due today, was already set for automatic bank transfer. Clara's not being rewarded. She's staying housed, but from now on, she's on her own. Clara and I were close, but she distanced herself when we adopted Decker. I didn't know why, just that the new dynamic was hard for her. I know she hates Charlie, sees him as evil and irredeemable, and was close to Decker's bio mom, our cousin-in-law, so I guess her issues stem from there. I inherited the most, though my siblings got substantial sums. 3 got all but one of our parents' businesses, and all got trusts. Clara spiraled after Mom's death, had a mental breakdown, traveled, drank, and gambled away her inheritance, a story for another time. I waited until today for a level-headed decision about her. She's been spreading lies that I'm jealous of her loving fiancé and withholding Mom and Dad's money. She implied I abuse Decker, belittle her, and say she's not my real daughter. That stopped when I sent my message days ago. Yesterday, Clara showed up at my door, crying, begging to come in. My wife and her friends were inside, and I made it clear I don't want her near my family for emotionally abusing my daughter and physically harming my wife. I told her to leave, or I'd call the police. I was going to call anyway since I told her not to come back, and there she was. I texted her she's not welcome for proof. She begged, saying she'd apologize to Decker, claiming she was drunk, upset, and made mistakes. I could tell she was drunk or high or something. I said it's not a simple mistake to bully a traumatized teen, make her feel unloved and unwanted, and text her she's worthless and disposable. What the hell? I got mad and started raising my voice. I don't know when I started yelling, but I did. I lost it. You're a cold-hearted, horrible, selfish brat. Nothing short of delusional to think this would just go away, that you're entitled to the money my wife and I earned, that our parents gave us after everything you did. You need help, and I'm done being the giving tree. Never hurt my daughter. You're lucky I'm level-headed enough not to touch you. Lucky your honey's not out here because she wouldn't be, so go home. Clara slapped me, called me a bitch and traitor for choosing that demon Spawn over her, for loving Decker more than my real family and turning my back on her. Honey must have been by the door because she pulled me inside before I could make a bad choice, told Clara she had 60 seconds to get lost, and slammed the door. Clara left quickly, but we called the police, gave them our property's camera footage and text messages. Clara went ballistic, texting me horrible things, ending with hoping I'd kill myself and she'd celebrate. Absolutely deranged stuff. I blocked her, uploaded everything to Google Drive, shared the link in our sibling group chat, and sent it to her fiancé, Kevin. I sat and cried in a panic before Decker got home from practice, put on my mom face, and made sure she did her homework. Then I went to the studio, called my aunt, Decker's bio grandma, and told her everything. She said Clara's pushing a conspiracy that I harmed Decker, and to be careful, she suspects Clara's having a mental breakdown and might do something crazy. Honey and I spent all day working on a protection order against her, ensuring Decker's school knows only we can pick her up, and getting a lawyer because legal action seems necessary. I told my eldest brother Clara needs help and asked if he could watch her, as she might be as dangerous to herself as she is to us. He went quiet, said, "Can't you handle this?" and that the drama was too much and he's busy. I was stunned and snapped, "Are you kidding me?" before hanging up. Another brother is helping me deal with this, checking on Clara to ensure she hasn't hurt herself, but saying beyond that, she can crash and burn for what she's done. Kevin called, said he saw the Google Drive, and begged me not to involve the police. He said Clara's been struggling, drinking, stealing his meds, and he's trying to get her help, but if she's arrested, he can't afford bail or legal help. I said it's too late, the police are involved, and he needs to get her to a rehab center or something. He asked for help paying for one, and I told him to keep her away from my family. He cried, said I'm a horrible sister who doesn't care about Clara's struggles, that she's lost, and he's drowning trying to keep her from going off the deep end. I didn't respond and have been sitting at home, waiting for the police to call back, trying not to cry before Decker gets home from school. I feel miserable and awful. Nothing I do will ever feel right. I was supposed to care for everyone, and now my sister's a lunatic hellbent on burning my life down, and my brother's alarmingly indifferent. I'm used to holding the family together, but I don't feel capable anymore. What is my life? User comment. No matter what you think your mom would say, you're never obligated to set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm, especially not when they're trying to destroy your daughter. No way. Think about what your mom would have done if someone she loved and trusted abused one of her kids the way Clara's been abusing Decker. Would she have put up with it to please the abuser? I bet not. Don't you either? Opie's response. I'm not used to that perspective of my mom, as, without too many details, her brother abused me. He inherited one of their businesses and lives abroad. When I was a teen, she told me I had to forgive him because we're family, and he wouldn't be around much, but to be polite when he was.